Distant cracks of thunder. No one paid attention. I wish we did.
Hey, you are on camera. This elevator has been out of commission.
Security to the slingshot in Sector G. We have a possible intruder in the tubes. Repeat, possible intruder.
When the elevator stops, exit with your hands raised. I cannot let you in until you show your face. How'd you make it here by yourself? Who are you?
That bed down here in Speranza sure beats sleeping outside, but it's getting pretty crowded.
Up topside, clean hands don't get the work done. That's why I stay down here. Everything has a price, and it's always higher than you think.
1,358 days to make a beautiful...
Raiders may not follow orders, but they'll follow a bounty if it's high enough.
I wouldn't worry about other raiders that much. I would worry about Ark. Something's going on.
A lot of people down here in Speranza rely on raiders. I don't like it, but if you want to go back up, you catch a ride with the tubes on level 4. They'll take you all the way to Bird City.
Okay, here we are. This room is the best I can do for you now. It's a dump, I know, but you'll learn to love it, I'm sure. Come see me when you're settled in. All freshened up? Look, if you're hoping to stay in Speranza, I'll need to know that you can handle yourself up there. Let's see if you have what...
Hey folks, welcome back to Gaming Garbage. We take a look at games, chat about the gaming news in the industry, and of course, stream for fun. Today we're going to be talking about Ark Raiders. Now this is going to be another extraction shooter, and I honestly think Marathon has some competition, because the things that people are complaining about Marathon are actually already in Ark Raiders. Now Marathon is set to launch September 23rd. It sounds like Ark Raiders is going to be more toward the end of the year, like November, December probably, and so they also have more time to already get things going. But just some quick notes. And what you're seeing here is gameplay, and I'll let some of the gameplay run and stuff, but the game overall is already more appealing to me personally. So I like the look of things, I like how things are handled. Whether first person or third person doesn't really bug me too much. It might some people. But overall, like, the game is fairly fun, and like what I'm looking at is more realistic. It's more enticing. It's more believable, and it's more similar, right? Because everything's kind of run down and broken down. And what we also get to see too is that there's already multiple maps. So we have one large map where Ark Raiders takes place, and then we have 3 different locations where we can actually do a raid, and then we have another location where we can just practice. We don't have to worry about invaders, we don't have to worry about other players, we don't have to worry about NPC machines or anything. We can just go there and practice, and pretty much almost everything is actually available, at least the base weapons. So like, we can test different rifles, assault rifles, SMGs, all that stuff. And so as for the maps, each one is a little bit different, and there's also different difficulty levels. So 2 of them are level 3 out of 5, And then there are some others. There's another one that's 4 out of 5 for difficulty level. And right now, it's just the first day of the alpha test, so I'm not running into too many people. There's some people out there, but I've played about 3 hours so far, and I definitely think, with the movement and stuff, is like it's easy to see, like your stamina bar, for example, like how much you have left, how much you're regenerating, and you're always going to regenerate some. You're not going to have this cooldown like in Marathon. Something else too is you can carry 2 different weapons. You have a inventory, loadout, which is nice, but like for your weapons, you can put on attachments and mods. And there's also different tiered levels of those, of how much better they are. So you have like level 1, 2, and 3 that I've seen so far, but you can put on a suppressor, you can put on a compensator, you can put on a vertical grip or angled grip, you can put on a butt stock that does better for recoil, and things like that. So like it does a good job. And then also the stats show you how those benefit your gun. So that's really nice too, and it does all of that in real time. You can also level up your guns themselves. You can take more parts and actually upgrade the physical gun with your attachments on there. And you can take your attachments on and off on whatever guns you'd like, as long as, of course, it fits with the gun class that it is. And this is honestly really nice because we also find some of those components out in the world, and we also find some better components to actually create some of the more advanced classes of these gun mods or these attachments. Something else too is that we can actually find blueprints for better weapons too. And so once you find the blueprint, then you can work on gathering the materials for it and scavenging for that. And then once you have everything, then you can just put it all together and actually create your brand new, like, purple or gold tier gun, which is pretty nice. And then we're also looking at, the amount of people on a map. I had one match where there were 8 of us, and I had another match where there were 20 of us. And the way I was able to tell is I was able to go back through my Xbox, which recently played with, and just see the breakdown in time. Everyone that was 1 hour away or 25 minutes away or a couple hours, I was able to do that breakdown and see how many players were in each map. So it is varied some, but we can have at least 20 players per map, so it can get pretty busy. And I had some firefights on that one, for sure. The maps, too, are actually pretty large, and the maps are also highlighted on where the best loot is going to be, where better loot is going to be, and then just regular buildings, which will kind of have like minimal, more common or uncommon loot. So, yeah, depending on what you want to do. There are also contracts. As far as I know, you can only take one contract at a time. I can't go to other vendors and actually get more contracts. I can just have one, but I can also do my challenges at the same time. So there's multiple things that I can work toward. There's multiple things I can work on in trying to gather. There's also rewards for those contracts, and those rewards, I imagine, get better as you work with those vendors and with those contracts. Right now, it's just kind of cycling through all of them, so I get a taste of kind of what they offer. And each vendor, too, sells certain or different types of stuff. So there's equipment, there's guns, there's ammo, there's healing stuff. I mean, there's a vendor I don't have unlocked yet, and we'll see what she does. But for right now, like, the overall experience, I gotta say, is better. Most matches we're running are at about 30 minutes. And some people jet out of there pretty quick, maybe when they find something good. And other players can maybe stick around and try to tag other players. I actually did have someone throw a grenade in while I was using the elevator to extract, which was kind of cool. But I ended up making it, but then my game crashed after that. So I have had a couple of crashes so far on my Series X. So yeah, it's not perfect, but it is their public test. Again, they have like 6 months minimum until their game actually comes out later this year. But this is a game, too, that they've also, silently or quietly delayed several times. Because I think this was supposed to be a game coming out in 23 and then proposed 24, and now we're looking at the end of 25. So it has been delayed for a while. Something else that's nice, too, is it has proximity chat. It's already built into the game. You can actually have this be a button that you push or toggle it on and off. There's also in-game chat as well, which is separate. And it's just nice to already have that built in there. Most people, not a single person has been talking yet during the test. And personally, I haven't been either. You can just have your mic off or whatever while you're playing. And I think most people are going to do that because that's how most people kind of generally play multiplayer games, is they don't really talk much anymore, unless you're maybe in Call of Duty or Enlisted or maybe something else. So there's maybe a few, but the majority of people, they just don't really talk. Also, too, if you already like the finals, it's done by the same developers. And so if the finals is still running, as far as I know, they haven't had any layoffs or anything, and they're still working on producing content. But this is a studio that is going to have an easier time with a much smaller team and a smaller budget actually making money and sustaining the game. And so they've already been able to do that with the finals, and now they're probably going to be able to do that with Arc Raiders. Because part of the issue, I would say, with Bungie is that they're looking at trying to create a game that's a premium experience, and but the budget costs are going to be in America, while these folks are going to be over in a country in Europe where it's going to be a lot cheaper to actually make that game, and it's going to be easier to continue to create content and stay afloat, even if the majority of people actually dip out. So I'm really curious exactly how this is going to play out, but already with what I see with Marathon, it's not intriguing to me. They've also made it more complicated and restrictive to actually get into their alpha test. And there's still so much they already don't know or they're not sure about yet. But then when I look at Arc Raiders, I basically went onto their Discord, filled out a survey today, and was able to get a code right away and get in. And they do mention that not everyone is going to be selected, but they have a lot of people applying for their alpha test right now. But yeah, if you want to try it, I suggest give it a shot. Just going to hop on their server on Discord and work on asking there. But and then, follow the simple prompts to actually get in and get your code, which will be emailed to you. And then you can redeem it through your platform. Yeah, so far I have much better feelings about Arc Raiders. And it's still an extraction shooter. As far as it looks like you can do, again, teams of 3, maybe 4. I haven't tested that yet. But yeah, I'll be keeping a watch on both of these games. But I'm actually excited for this one. Now, Arc Raiders was supposed to be a PvE experience, more like Helldivers 2, and then they converted it into an extraction shooter. So you still have robots that you have to deal with out there in the world, and some of them are pretty challenging. And then you also have players too, but your players don't necessarily have to be attacking each other, though most of them do so far that I've encountered in my 3 hours. But you can work together, and I imagine too that we'll actually have some events, because that was part of the draw during their initial reveal, was that there would be events in the world for these really big, massive robots, and it'd be great to actually have some where you can focus on it, with multiple teams and try to take some down. And we're also, with each map that you can play on, there's also going to be night raids. So I'm not really sure how that's going to change stuff, but night raids are going to be possible in a few days here toward the end of the test, and my goal is to play those as well. So thanks for tuning in. You can always follow me at Gaming Garbage 22 over at YouTube. There's also playlists there, and we do a bunch of stuff on the channel, poke around. And then also you can follow me at Twitch at Don't Tread on Thee if you'd like. And when I'm not doing news or a deep dive, a playthrough or just going through some playtest stuff or getting some footage, then I'll certainly talk with y'all in the chat. So with that, folks, hopefully you guys are doing well. I'll see you guys in the next one.